So I was asked to do a video of my project, and I wish I would have taken more photos through it, but I kind of tinkered, but I really kind of discovered this project was easier than I thought it was going to be. So this is about installing a 50 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery in my Ryobi 480E, and super slick. It's very lightweight. I can move it by hand. I'm on wheels too, but I can move it around my shop. It's much faster. Much more handling. I feel like it's driving a go-kart versus a golf cart anymore. So I'm just going to show you, try and reverse engineer what I've already done, try and make it as simple as possible, because it's easier than it may seem. So I'm just going to take off the back and show you my handiwork. So these are, I forget what you call these, hex types threads, but it's standard for all the bolts. I took off all the plastic. I don't think you need to do that for this project. The back, the battery tray is extremely heavy with the original batteries in there. It's going to be a 13-inch bolt on top, and I believe, if my memory serves, I have a 12 on the bottom. I don't know why that is. Let's see here. Of course, I've got it. Two bolts, two fat washers under here, and when you have the factory ones in there, there's also going to be a big bolt in the center, and the center is held down by this, and there's also plastic covers on top. None of that has to go back on it, but there's going to be a center bolt here, which I think is also 13 millimeter, that you're going to have to take out to get this back. Once the tray is loose, you're going to have to disconnect one wire here, which is a little stubby one. I'll show it here. That's this, I think it's a heat indicator, and that'll be way in the back here, so as soon as you move it, it's going to disconnect itself, but you want to disconnect this. And you have to take off the bolt. There's a one screw holding on the battery connection here too. So I took off the whole top. I'm not going to do that for purposes of this, but that will allow you to disconnect the main battery tray. Again, this is going to be very heavy when you have the factory batteries on here. And so I had blocks and wheels and everything like that. Some use car jacks to do that. All the batteries are tied together. It's 10 bolts, 10 millimeter bolts, tying them all together. Pull them all off. There's a metal tubes in here that were just held down with adhesive tape. You can pry them off, and then this becomes a flat tray. These bolts on here, you can loosen, and then these trays expand depending on the size of the batteries that you have in there. I back them off. I put in some extra trim boards that I had. These are just cedar siding strips that I left over from my house. I think you could probably put front and back. You probably don't even need the side ones. And then you're going to reuse this cable. So this is really all the wiring that you're gonna do for this. So this is the original harness for the battery that I'm repurposing. So the red goes to red on the battery. This was on the red of the original batteries as well, so I'm just reusing this. There's one extra red cable on here, and that goes to your Camway battery monitors that powers the monitor. That goes onto this little block here, again giving it power. And then you're going to have a series of these cables that tie all of your original 4 batteries together. And so all I did is I took 2 black caps and put some black electrical tape around it to note that it was a ground. Put that on the battery, hook that up to the battery sensor, and then the cable going back to the device. So B for battery, and then the black going out to the P, I guess, is going back out to the unit. And there's a wiring diagram and instructions with this, but again, this is really pretty easy. Then this sensor clips into here, and this cable goes all the way up to the battery monitor, which you don't have to have, but I think is highly recommended, and I think it's worth the effort and time putting it in. So blocks here, I have a strap holding it down. It's in there pretty snug, and that's really all the wiring there is to do this. I think it seems more overwhelming than it really is. So I'm going to hook this back in, push this back. Hook this heat sensor back up. I will bolt that back up when I'm done. Put that cover on. The other thing that you're going to have to do, and I'll move over here a little bit, is put in the sensor. So this is the factory one that I took out. You have to drill a little bit larger hole to put in here. This is the hardest part of the project, is drilling that hole. I did a step drill to do that, but it's pretty violent force. They're trying to make that hole bigger. I ended up using a little bit of a, let's see what I have here. When it gets burrs, it gets really rough, so I used a sanding wheel like this on a drill just to smooth it out as it got really kind of coarse, and then went back at it with the step drill to make this hole, I don't know, it's probably a 1/4 inch larger, and that tells me how many amps are left in the battery and how much power it's using, and it's a pretty good setup. So again, all recommendations from the group that we're in. So that has a wire that goes down. You clip them together. You just disconnect the gauge wires from the original factory one, take them off, put your cover back on. I think you got to take off this cover in addition to this one, but you might be able to take off this one. I just don't honestly remember right now. Then the last thing, oops, there's my charger, is the charger. So some people have been breaking off these tabs in here to make the smart charger. So this is again this HTRC smart charger, and it comes with this style plug, which doesn't fit quite in here because of these 2 tabs. So I guess you can take a pliers and break those off. Someone else had suggested that you can just take the wires out of the original one and put the Ryobi handle onto the HTRC charger, which is what I ended up doing. I should have taken a photograph as to which wires go where. I didn't do that. I would highly recommend that. But bottom line, I just remembered when I took this apart to replicate it in the new charger, and that's what I did. So whatever wires are here, I put here, and there's only 2 wires in this HRT. So the third one is this an empty pin, which I just had to kind of crimp in place to keep in there. And so this is the Ryobi handle on the HRT charger, or you could take out these pins. I'm not sure which is better, but anyways, this is the way that I did it. Just trying to double check my math here to see if there's anything else that I had to do, but I think that's basically it. The charger works very well. It charges quickly. The gauge works well. And if you're thinking about replacing batteries with lead acid, I would strongly advise against it. I think the new Costco version, which looks like identical to this same tractor, it looks to me like it has a 50 amp hour battery, and they're saying it gets 2.5 acres worth of use out of it. That seems about right based on what I've used about it. I used it this weekend to haul several trailer loads of brush this weekend. So up and down a hill several times. I filled a 5x10 trailer with all of the trailer loads that I pulled with this, with brush, tools, and all kinds of stuff. Going up and down, I only used 5%. Then I went out yesterday and cut my lawn, only used 20 more percent. It was down to, I don't know what it was, 75% by the time I was done with everything yesterday. I couldn't use my tractor like that when it was brand new. It just didn't have the battery capacity like that. So it's just been a significant game changer to me. So anyways, that's my, I guess, 12 minute video on this. I hope it's of some help. Good luck to you.